In his book, The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg explains that at the core of every habit is a three-step process called the habit loop. It begins with a cue, which can be internal, like a feeling, or external, like a time of day. The cue triggers your brain to go into automatic mode and decide which habit to use. Next comes the routine, the behavior you engage in that leads to the reward. This routine can be physical, cognitive, or emotional. Lastly, there's the reward, which can also be physical, cognitive, or emotional, and determines whether your brain will remember and reinforce this habit loop. Duhigg explains that understanding this loop is key to effectively changing or creating new habits. Let's discuss how to do that. How to use the habit loop to break a habit. Step 1. Identify the routine. Step 2. Experiment with rewards. Step 3. Isolate the cue. Step 4. Have a plan. Step 1. Identify the routine to change a bad habit. We must understand its components in a habit loop, explains Duhigg. For example, let's say you have a habit of buying a chocolate chip cookie from the cafeteria every afternoon, causing weight gain as Duhigg experienced. First, identify the routine: getting up, going to the cafeteria, buying and eating the cookie while chatting. Then, find the cue triggering this behavior, such as hunger, boredom, low blood sugar, or taking a break before another task. Next, determine the reward: the cookie itself, change of scenery, temporary distraction, socializing, or an energy boost from sugar. Then, experiment to determine which cue and reward are driving the habit. Once you know what's driving the behavior, replace the routine with a new, healthier behavior that provides the same reward. This way, you can break the loop and form a positive habit. Step 2. Experiment with rewards. Duhigg writes that rewards play a big role in our habits because they satisfy our cravings, which are often subconscious. To understand the cravings driving our habits, we must experiment with different rewards. For instance, if you usually buy a cookie at the cafeteria, try other activities instead, like walking around, eating an apple, having coffee, or gossiping with a friend. After each activity, take a moment to jot down 3 things that come to mind. Set a 15-minute alarm, and when it goes off, see if you still crave the cookie. This helps identify the true reward you seek. If you still want the cookie after eating a donut, explains Duhigg, it's not just about sugar. If you crave a cookie after socializing, then the need for human contact might be driving the habit. Step 3. Isolate the cue. Identifying the cues that trigger our habits can be challenging due to the overwhelming amount of information we encounter during our behaviors. To pinpoint the cues, we must consider cue categories like time, location, emotional state, other people, and the action immediately preceding the habit. For example, when trying to figure out the cue for the going to the cafeteria and buying a chocolate chip cookie habit, observe and note 5 things at the moment of the urge, such as sitting at my desk and boredom. Through this process, Duhigg found that the cue for his cookie habit was feeling the urge to snack around 3 o'clock to 4 p.m., not hunger, but a need for temporary distraction, often while chatting with a friend. Step 4. Have a plan. You can change your behavior once you've understood your habit loop, recognizing the reward, cue, and routine. To do that, Duhigg suggests writing a plan using implementation intentions, which means deciding in advance how you will respond to the cue. For instance, if your habit is the afternoon cookie and you found that you crave distraction and socializing, write a plan. At 3:30 every day, I will walk to a friend's desk and chat for 10 minutes. Then, set an alarm to remind yourself. Initially, it might be challenging, but stick to the plan. On days when you follow through, you'll feel better and accomplished. Over time, the new behavior becomes automatic, and the habit changes. Even if you miss your alarm, keep trying. Eventually, the new routine will become second nature. Duhigg successfully replaced his cookie habit with daily chatting with colleagues, which has become a natural part of his routine. In conclusion, understanding the habit loop can help break bad habits and create positive ones. By identifying the routine, experimenting with rewards, isolating the cue, and creating a plan, you can change your behavior and achieve your goals. Keep these steps in mind as you work towards forming and sticking to new habits.